Hi, welcome back to the shop. Welcome to another live stream. I'm your host, Matthew, and behind me is my producer wife, Emily. She's wrangling a cat playing with camera cords right now. She's going to be the one pressing the buttons and everything. She's behind camera, and she's going to be manning the chat, relaying your messages to me so we can multitask. And what we got going on today is, by popular demand, getting Klipper set up to run on the Sidewinder X2. We bit the bullet and paid scalper prices for a Raspberry Pi. We also got ourselves a TFT50 for the Pi. It's the big Tech one. I heard great things about it. Don't mind the doorbell. Good timing for the Amazon guy. And a ADXL, a couple ADXL accelerometers for tuning and such. I've never done Klipper before. I've done some research, watched a ton of videos in the last few days, and the process doesn't seem too complicated, but it's definitely more involved than your typical Marlin firmware. So we're going to learn this together. I know some of you have done this before, so your help and pointers are always welcome, because I'm pretty sure we're going to mess something up along the way, and well, we're going to figure this out together. So feel free to send your questions our way, chat about it, and we'll have ourselves a chat at the same time. This is probably going to be a multi-part thing. Go ahead, you can go. And excuse me, my producer wife had to go get something. So I was saying this is going to be a multi-part series because there's no way I could do it all in an hour. This will probably take 4-ish videos. But what I will do, for those of you who are wanting like a quick, this is how you do it, step-by-step instructions with all the correct configuration files and macros and all that kind of stuff, I will do a full edited video to put on the YouTube channel to make it easier to follow, because once I figure all this out, I'm going to undo it all and redo it and film it and voiceover and all the fun stuff that I do. So without further ado, let's start opening these toys. I've been excited. We're gonna start with the screen. Why not?
Without further ado, what about be-do?
Be-do, be-do. So,
Ricardo's glad that we decided to go with Klipper.
what?
Ricardo is glad that you decided to go with Klipper.
Everyone has been yelling and screaming about it every time I do a poll on Facebook. Hey, what do you guys want to see? And there's always like, the most votes are always someone enters Klipper like a suggestion. And so it's like, okay, clearly
I think we can assume it's one or two of you who've been doing that.
Probably. And it's like, I guess it's what they want. I'm kidding. I've been Klipper curious for a while now. She's giving me this look like, and I just haven't, well, one, with the cost of a Raspberry Pi and all that kind of stuff and the availability of them, it's been like, we'll get it when we get it. And now it was time. And thankfully, the support from the community with buying our circuit boards has been a huge help for that. So we do appreciate that, those of you who have purchased. And they're still around, and soon we're going to have build plates too. That's coming. We'll talk about that later. So let's get this open.
When somebody waves hi, I think this might be our friend from Turkey. Possibly.
Possibly. Well, hello. Welcome. Thank you for joining. We appreciate your company. Feel free to chit-chat, ask us questions. One thing is, if you've never got anything from Big Tree Tech, they give you a little rubber ducky with it, which is a nice little gesture. It's like their business card. And the duck is like my spirit animal. I love ducks, so I like the little rubber duckies. Ooh. It's got some standoffs and a little ribbon cable for the screen.
I'm pretty sure that ooh sound is on a couple videos. Like, we're gonna have to pull that out and make it like your entrance sound.
We just grab all the sound bites. Ooh. Oh, this is nice, actually. I like Big Tree Tech stuff. I'm a huge fan of their products. So you want to go over and I could show them on the other camera? It's so shiny.
Super shiny.
Yeah, and that's the back of it. Very nice. I like how they go with a black PCB, and they're whoever they have make their PCBs is a really good product. So you could trust that you're going to get something really nice from it. Actually, this will work on both Raspberry Pi, and you could set it up with Marlin to run on a normal 3D printer if you have a big TreeTech main board as well. So dual purpose.
DBR, it says, if you need making config file, I can send it to you. Yes,
the more the merrier. And I could look through it. Every one of you, send me your config file, and I'll look through them, because I've downloaded the one that's on the Klipper GitHub. That's like a basic for a stock X2. I've done a few changes, and I looked through it, and it all looks pretty correct. Like all the pin assignments are correct, but there are certain things that I would change, like speeds and stuff like that. So, but for the most part, the base is there. But yeah, send me your configurations so I could look through them and like get an idea of what I need to do, because it's very different. Oh, I mean, it's a lot of the terminology and stuff like that is similar to Marlin, but the way you configure it is different. So, what's up?
We also have, I think forgive me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, Yodan Hunter says, looking forward to this. And we've got Drew who says, woo woo, guess who can finally put weight on his foot?
Oh my goodness, congratulations, Drew. And Yodan, if we're pronouncing that wrong, let us know.
And he says, also Klipper, wahoo! Drew's asking, will you make your config file available for everyone? I'm thinking that's for the DVR.
Yes. So when I figure all this out and I do the normal, like the edited video of like instructions that aren't me fumbling my way through it for several hours, I will have links to all the files and everything shared in the video description. And I have in this video description the Amazon link to get the Pi and the screen and the accelerometer. It's expensive, but if you want to spend the money and get it, you're welcome to. And the links are down there. And that's another thing, is that they are available from the seller on Amazon, and it's the real deal. It's not some scam or anything like that. So take that for what it's worth.
And Ray says, hello, everyone.
Hello, Ray. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So, how does this open?
So will you be checking with everybody as they're sending you their config file to see if it's okay if you share it with everyone as well?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the ones that everybody's okay sharing, you'll share.
Yes. Loud. The box is nice. Mm-hmm. Oh. Everyone likes a good unboxing. Oh, okay. Now I want to break into this. SD card instructions. That's nice. It gives you an instruction manual with links to their website. A manual.
Maria Henderson says, here just to grab some new vocabulary. Not sure what Klipper is and what it replaces.
So Klipper is a firmware that runs a 3D printer, and the cool thing about it is it runs off of a Raspberry Pi, or you can run it off of your desktop if you wanted to. I think there's a way to do that. Yeah, there's a way to do that. And there's other Pi alternatives that you could use possibly, but from what I've been able to tell, the Raspberry Pi is just the simplest to get set up, and it's just another way to run your printer, like another firmware for your printer. And it's, once you get it set up, it's really easy to make changes to your printer config. So if you have to change like an offset, a speed, anything like that, it's just change it into config and then save off of a, there's like a web browser based interface. It's called Mainsail, or you could use Fluid. We're gonna go with Mainsail. And that's just the interface for it. There's several different interfaces you could use. Mainsail apparently is the most popular, and I've seen some videos about it, and it looks super cool. It's like Octoprint on steroids.
So she says, so it replaces Octoprint if I have that already set up?
Yes, and I believe you can run Octoprint as an interface for Klipper. I believe. If someone out there, if I'm wrong, please correct me, but from the research I was doing, you can do that, and you can kind of, I've seen ways to kind of do both at the same time, but I'm not sure. But it's very capable. You see people that do their, the speed benching competitions doing 5-minute-ish benchies. They're using Klipper. You're not doing that on Marlin. Is the cat?
Oh my goodness.
Bagheera, sweetie.
I just gotta find something to throw at her.
That is my HDMI cable. Please don't chew on it.
More than an HDMI cable. That's coming from the outlet,
Oh,
electricity and such.
120 volt kitty.
We don't need kitty for dinner.
No. So this kit comes with a 64 gigabyte SD card, and it's from the brand Geek Pi, so it's unbranded, which is cool. You know, in a little, I don't know if it's a reader or a holder or what.
And Drew says you have his config file. No changes made. Go ahead and share away.
Perfect.
And also added in Klipper's less overhead, less CPU power versus Octoprint. And yes, you can Octoprint on Klipper.
Okay.
Not recommended because Octoprint requires so much more CPU processing power.
I've heard that Octoprint can be a bit of a pain. I had a friend try it on his Android phone, and he had buffering issues. So, yeah. So this is it's an SD card reader / USB. Actually, it's kind of cool. Look at this camera. I've never seen anything like this. The SD card goes in to the USB plug, and that's a card reader. That is really handy. And it feels nice. It's got some weight to it, you know. And typically with electronics or most things, if it's a little weighty, you feel it's a good quality. So, all right, back to getting stuff out of here. One thing people say is you need a quality power supply to run Klipper on these things. So I would assume that this is actually, I was expecting just a normal USB cable and an adapter, but this is a full-on plug with a USB-C. And on it, what's the wattage here? 18 watts, that'll do. I wasn't sure about what power supply it was going to come with, so I have my 33 watt phone charger also, which 33 is, well, 18 will be plenty for this.
Drew says you won't want to Octoprint when you use mainsail fluid.
Fluid, yeah. We're going to go with mainsail. So.
You're also like a kid at Christmas. You're welcome to slow down a little if you want.
Okay, I will. Slow.
Not that slow.
Slowly.
Hey, I didn't have to throw anything at the cat. I could throw it at you instead.
Okay. A little enclosure for the Pi, and it's got like a heat sink and stuff on it, which you definitely need the heat sink. Oh, and it comes with 2 HDMI cables, micro HDMI to regular HDMI. Cool. And if you don't know what a Raspberry Pi is, it's like a little mini PC, and the Pi OS it's Linux based, but it runs and looks and operates very similar to Windows. It's actually pretty cool. If you just browse the internet and watch YouTube, this can be a PC replacement. And yeah, so it's kind of neat. Plus the various other things you could do with it, being that it's Linux based. And that's that. Let's open the fun. Excuse me. Oh boy, look at that. Well, would you look at that? That looks nice. So it's got USB 2, USB 3, gigabit Ethernet. There's the mini HDMI connection, headphone outlet, and then some I/O. Huh?
Oh, Ray says, I currently use my Raspberry Pi as a home media server, specifically Plex.
There you go.
It's kind of cool. Tell us what else you do with your Pi besides printing.
Yes, everyone. If you have a Pi or a Pi alternate, let us what you do with it. Let us know what you do with it. That's pretty cool. Crazy the power in this little thing. Like this could run a spaceship.
Maria says, love my Raspberry Pi setup. Have one running Homebridge.
There we go. I don't know what Homebridge is, but it sounds cool. What's Homebridge? Is it like home security? I would think maybe. Get rid of the trash.
Drew says, I use my RPi to run my CNC.
That's actually a good idea.
No, you can't take your Raspberry Pi to work.
No, we have like 3 Pis at work that Jeff isn't doing anything with, so. Sorry to name drop, but he's not watching my YouTube. They were supposed to use it for tracking something or other, and then that never happened. So we have these 3 Raspberry Pis just sitting in a box. Yeah. That's a nice little case.
Maria says, some Some also use one as a pie hole, which reduces ads in your browser.
A pie hole? Cram it in
I
your
know,
pie
right?
hole and cram those ads.
DBR, it says if you're going to use Homebridge, you might as well do Home Assistant integrates everything.
Is that like Alexa? How does this thing come open? Does it just pop open? Here!
And Drew says, anyone using Raspberry Pi, check out, is that Diet Pie?
Diet pie? I've heard of like La Potato. Well, you guys have talked about like La Potato, Orange Pie, and actually, if you watch Linus Tech Tips, he did a video pretty recently talking about several of the pie alternatives and like the pros and cons and stuff like that. Really good information from that. So that's a nice little case.
Drew says, great OS option for Raspberry Pi and other SBC. Torben asks, how much does it cost? I'm new to 3D printing. I just bought the Sidewinder X2. So new to all of this.
So the Raspberry Pis, this kit was $279 US, which is expensive. I think typical retail was supposed to be like $35 or $40 for the Pi, and due to this chip shortage and all that's been going on the last couple of years, they're hard to find, and when you do find them, they are expensive, sadly.
I think we added it to the cart last year at 170.
Yeah, and it's gone up $100 in the last year. And we're like waiting for like, well, eventually the prices will go down. Like graphics card prices have gone down substantially. Yes, honey?
Wow, okay. You're just going to have to hang out for a minute.
You got a lot going on here.
We got a lot going on.
I love it.
Maria says, we're a big Siri house, and Homebridge allows me to bring non-Siri things under my Apple house. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that you can integrate non-Apple things into Apple. That's handy nowadays.
Yeah, I figure Apple would not like that very much.
Probably why you need the Homebridge. Ray says, banana pie, orange pie, pie hole, diet pie. These devs are having way too much fun.
Man.
By the way, my thoughts were to have a pie party, open pie, eat pie, pie, you know?
Yes.
And start the recording at 3:14, but you know, I was vetoed. That would have been way more fun.
That would have been fun, but 3:14 wasn't going to work.
Maria says, so Klipper replaces Marlin.
Yes. So you install Klipper on the Pi, and then there's a separate firmware that is the cat's playing with bags. There's a separate firmware that you'll have to compile from the Pi that you will load onto your main board in the printer. That helps it communicate. So the main board and the printer just acts as a hub, essentially, and the Pi does all the hard work. It does all the heavy lifting, because the power of the Pi processor is substantially more than the processors on these main boards, and the architecture is different. So you're not going to run Linux on an STM32 processor. On an ARM Cortex, you can. So.
And Drew got one that I even missed. We could have done it tomorrow, and it could have been Pi Party Day at 3:14 with Pi, opening Pi on 3:14. That would have been great.
That would have been great.
Yoda Hunter says, I've been using the Innovato Quadra, and it's running 2 printers off of it. They're only $40 or so.
Oh.
That's cool. We're going to have to check that out.
Put links in. Actually, write that down. Innovato Quadra. We'll look at that. And I heard the Creality Sonic Pad is pretty cool at like $160, and you could run like 4 something printers off of it. I thought about going that route, but most people, go for the Pi, and the Sonic Pad is still very new, so I'm waiting for more information about that. I need my alcohol.
It's not that kind of party.
Oh.
While you're finding your spray bottle. Drew says, Diet Pi, great OS option for Raspberry Pi and other SBC. Sorry, I was typing on the phone, now on laptop. Mike Jones says, I heard you can run Klipper from a laptop. Would like to see how that works. Cheaper than Pi, and apparently Klipper can run on a Pi Zero, so it doesn't need much.
Yes. You can run it off a laptop, and a fella that I've been watching that if I'm going to use his method to do this, it seems like it works pretty good. He has a series on his YouTube channel showing how to do it on a laptop, but you have to have Linux installed on the laptop. It won't work on a Windows laptop. So if you have an old laptop, you can put Linux on, sure. And I'll link that. I'll link his channel and those videos for those of you who want to see it, because he does some really good instructions. Write that down. Link.
Link what?
Link Klipper on PC instructions.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. We've got more. Whoa, they're coming in fast.
Right, how many people we got?
We've got 16 people with us.
All right. So these little heat sinks that go on the chips here, they just have like a thermal adhesive strip on there, but you definitely want to use some isopropyl alcohol and clean any fingerprints or any manufacturing schmoo that might still be on it, flux and all that kind of stuff, because one, your heat transfer won't be very good, and two, it could possibly, the adhesive won't stick to it very well. So
except for your boards, we clean those exceptionally well.
we do clean those. We soak them in alcohol for a little while.
Torben says, can you tell us what Klipper is as you highlight name says? It says, and I saw on Thingiverse there's a firmware update to Sidewinder X2. The display would be color and it looks cool, but nervous to update it.
The one on Thingiverse is the Big Tree Tech clone firmware for the TFT, and it basically makes it work just like a Big Tree Tech TFT, and it's pretty functional. I've not tried it on the MKS. I have on my website my own TFT firmware that I've done, and I just use the base firmware that you get from Artillery, and I've added some functionality in the configuration and changed up the UI a bit to be more my style. Either way works. Obviously the Big Tree Tech one will work better. Yeah.
Let's see. Malden asks, can this work on a Hornet?
Yes. Any 3D printer that has a 32-bit main board, this should work on. And I do think, so like if you have an X1 or an OG Genius that have the 8-bit main boards, I believe you have to change the main board over. I don't think the 8-bit main board works with it. But again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was talk of that. Where's my instructions? Where's my manual at? Oh.
Drew says, can I post a link to Klipper on a laptop? So can you post a link to that video?
Yes, I will post a link to that video.
Can he post?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
It's like Rohan, I don't know.
So DBR, it says you can control more than one printer on the Pi. That's kind of cool.
Heard that.
KCD. Someone says, you'll be big input shaping and pressure. Will you be doing, input shaping and pressure advanced? Made a big improvement in my prints.
Yes, I will be doing that. And that should definitely help with the print, especially on this bed slinger. It's very helpful for bed slingers just to get a little bit more speed out of them too, and just overall print quality. Where does it show where to put these little heat sinks?
Yeah, and you're more than welcome to post that link, Drew.
Sure,
Thank you so much for offering to do that. Drew says, Sonic Pad, yeah, it's Creality. We don't need any more Civics.
All right. Did you see their post about the Creality K1 or something like that? It's some new thing they're doing, but it's super ambiguous. And everyone's like, more info, please. Yeah, this instruction manual is really nice, except it doesn't tell you where to put the heat sinks. I'm pretty sure I know. I'm just verifying.
Tormund says, and I saw on oh, hang on, sorry. I'm behind myself here.
You're fine.
Let's see. Mike Jones says, cool. Good excuse to finally utilize an older laptop. By the way, we have an older laptop that our probably could reutilize. Try that out.
Yeah, you can do that. I'll put Linux on it. I could do like a dual boot, I think. Have Windows on it for, well, I mean, Zoe can learn how to use Linux or
ooh,
teach them
good
while they're
question.
young.
Can old Raspberry Pi 2 run it?
I think so, but I think you'll be limited to one. I know a 3 can.
Drew says Raspberry Pi 2 is not recommended.
Not recommended? Okay. So I know the 3 can, and the 4 is obviously more better. I would think your biggest thing is going to be your USB connection speed of the processor, and power requirements.
Mike says, I put Linux on a laptop before, and it's not fun. But if it's just to run a few printers, I'd do it.
Right. I mean, can you use Ubuntu? Can you use Ubuntu as an alternative on the laptop? Ubuntu is a Linux-based operating system.
Can you take a couple seconds to more explain in depth what Klipper is and what it has to do with the X2?
Okay, so Klipper, it is a 3D printing software or firmware that runs off of the Raspberry Pi because it requires a lot of horsepower to run. It has
A little more detail, a little more like, explain it to me.
okay. This is hard because I'm new to Klipper. I've never actually installed it or run it or anything. I've seen on YouTube and on some on the interwebs about it and how it works, and it looks really cool. But to the best of my knowledge is that it is an alternative to the stock firmware, and the features that it has makes tuning for better print quality easier and faster. And you could, because of the tuning, you can turn up your print speeds and maintain your print quality. So instead of using your touchscreen or whatever interface your printer has, you use an interface on a web browser or on another type of touchscreen, and it's a completely different interface that is way more modern, way more modular. You gotta customize it and stuff like that to use it how you want your printer to work. So simple things like moving the printer around, monitoring the printer as far as temperature and stuff like that, it's much easier to do with Klipper. And then I think you could access, well, it's got a webcam option. So if you have a webcam hooked up to the system, you can monitor your printer anywhere you want in the world off of your smartphone. And I believe you could even access it from your smartphone and control it with your smartphone, I think. Because it runs off of a browser, you just load it up, and it's on your local, it'll be on your local, like on your LAN. So I don't know if you could bring up Mainsail over the internet, maybe. I don't know. Well, that'd be cool if you could. So those that have it, let us know. And those that can explain this way better than me, because I'm not explaining this well at all, help us. So.
Ray says, I like how you took a deep breath when I asked you to explain it to me.
Right.
Because we've been through this before, Ray. I was like, what is Klipper? And he's like,
it's firmware that is, people like it. It's supposedly better. I'm excited to try it. I've been wanting to do it for a while. I just haven't done it.
And Torben, if you're like really new to 3D printing at all, we're planning on doing some like really beginner guide stuff. Probably coming in June.
June, yeah, is what we're planning.
I know that's a little ways out, but hopefully we'll have a bit more in-depth, like getting started and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah, the plan for that is to have her on a live stream shop and purchase a 3D printer, and hey, this is nice. What tell me about this, and I'll help her along the way. And the idea is that we will teach you, the beginner, through her as a beginner, in essence. So it's the most authentic beginner's guide that I could think of, because I could give you a beginner's guide, but I've been doing this for a while.
You cannot give us a beginner's guide.
I've
heard you try to explain
it would
things.
be rough. It would be rough. Well, I speak differently in very technical terms.
You speak, I know what I'm doing. You don't speak, whoa, hi, Bagheera.
Hi, sweetie, say hi.
You don't speak, here's how you do this if you don't know what you're doing. So I'll be able to help, we'll be able to make that difference, that kind of middle ground there.
Yeah, because yes, she lives around these machines day in and day out, but if she wanted to make something, she's just like, hey, honey, I need this.
Totally agree, Torben. Won't be new when June comes around.
Yeah, and that is, but you could always email or message or watch our videos, because we have stuff on there that can be helpful for a beginner. Here we go.
And
Bam.
she's gone.
And she's gone. Sorry about the fluffy photo bomb. Okay, so I just put the heat sinks on this thing. So on the processor, memory module, and some whatever control like I/O and whatever those two chips are. Don't know, but that's memory, that's processor. Those need active cooling. So there you go. And actually, there's AlphaCool makes a water cooling kit for these. I want to do it. So I love water cooling computers. So to have a water cooled Raspberry Pi that's like legit water cooled, that would be fun. Okay, that is together.
Marie says, there's so many cookie makers out there who want to create their own cookie cutters, and they don't really have a good place for technical information. She also says, so the Q&A while you're shopping would be really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could definitely do a Q&A while shopping.
Drew says, from the Klipper website, recommended hardware is Raspberry Pi 2, Raspberry Pi 3, or 4. Klipper will run on a Raspberry Pi 1 and the Raspberry Pi 0, but their boards don't have enough processing power to run Octoprint well.
Okay. And that makes sense, because Octoprint's a pretty hungry.
And Ricardo asks, is that the 5015 fan on the Sidewinder?
Yes. And it's got my...
Here, pull it down a little bit.
Bam. So, and I've got the cooling shroud on there. It's the original design isn't mine, but the person that has it on Thingiverse, I forget his name, he has a step file for it, which makes it easy to edit if you need to. And so I just changed it to mount a 5015 fan instead of the 4020 that comes on the machine. So this has been a great cooling solution. I love it. I ran it on my X1 for well over a year and I never had issues. So, and you can get the STL for this on my website in the downloads and STL files. Link.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah. I think I have the website linked on there already.
I have no idea. I'm just writing stuff down. Might not make any sense when we get done.
Right.
Mike says, I've been checking on the configuration files and there's calibration things you can do that aren't embedded in the stock firmware. Stretch skew tuning was one. You can also get an auto level to have more points in checks. Very customizable with the source code.
Okay.
It says, my printer has 4x4 points. It checks for auto level, but you can change it to a 6x6 in the firmware. Even enable an experimental setting that interpolates between points, giving you even more accuracy.
Okay, yeah, Marlin does that. There's a name for it. I was messing with that. I forget the name of it, but it works really well. So I'm glad that Klipper I was worried about Klipper not having that. It's good to know that it does have that. I would assume that Klipper has everything that Marlin can do, plus more, with how popular it is. So
Torben says, already marked your channel on Facebook and YouTube. One question. I use the nozzle 0.4, I think it's the name. If I need to make smaller details, should I then buy a 0.2?
you can. So
It says, I know it'll take longer time, but time doesn't matter to me. I'm just trying to understand how it all works.
okay, yeah, you can go to I think 0.2. I mean, that's a small nozzle. I've never used anything smaller than a 0.4. If I want to print anything finer detailed than that, I do have a resin printer that I would use for that. But I do have a Revo extruder on my Core XY printer that I could tweak. I have all the nozzles for it. So in the future, at some point, I'm going to play with the smaller nozzle. I've played with the bigger ones, and they're a lot of fun because you can print things real fast. But one thing with a plastic squirter is that the finer details you want, the harder it's going to be to tune. So, not saying it can't be done. It can. People have done it. Just it might be a little bit more difficult to get into that route.
Drew says, I'd recommend Raspberry Pi 3B Plus or better if you want to run more than one printer at a time.
Okay.
Would you know?
There we go. And I bet you could find those for less expensive than the 4 in the 150 range, I would think.
Agents of MOC say, what up, Matt?
What up,
Great setup. Very professional.
What up, Troy? Thank you for joining.
Oh, you're going to make me...
Awesome to have you here.
Let's see. Hang on. Before you get all excited. Hang on. Let me read through some of these. Hang on.
Okay.
Maria says, so many are buying the cheaper things, then you have headaches after the fact. You get what you pay for.
Yes. I wouldn't say that a Raspberry Pi 3 is necessarily the cheaper, quote-unquote, cheaper alternative. It's a less expensive alternative, but it's very capable.
Ooh, Drew says you can even have macros for Klipper that will probe just the area you print for your bed level.
That is super cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, the macros thing is really foreign to me, so that's going to be a lot of trial and error. As far as like when I do the video on exactly how to do this step by step, it's going to be a pretty black and white, simple, this is the start, this will get you printing, and then from there, the world's the limit.
Let's see, Mike says, yeah, that's Marlon I was checking out already. I use Klipper, or I'm sure Klipper has that too. Point is, you might be able to access those settings without Klipper if your printer, at least their source. So I'm curious to see what more Klipper can do. I'm sure it's even cooler.
Yeah, that's from what I've seen and heard, Klipper is substantially more capable than Marlin.
And Ray says, someone may need to correct me, but in Klipper you may, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, y'all. It's Monday and I'm tired and apparently have not had enough coffee. Someone may need to correct me, but in Klipper you can make the configuration changes without having to compile every time like Marlin. Yes,
so there's a printer configuration file that has all what you would see in a Marlin configuration in like your configuration at .h and some of the advanced stuff is in that configuration file, and it's just a text file. You go in and say, oh, I want to change my nozzle offset, change the number, and then in the interface in main cell, you just hit save and restart, and it just restarts the program. You don't have to recompile or anything like that. It's super fast, which is nice.
You're saying that as Drew is literally typing all that stuff, by the way, which is kind of funny. He says, yes, to make changes, restart the firmware and you're done. Restart is just the service on the Raspberry Pi. It takes about 15 seconds and you're good to go. When you make changes, any changes in Klipper, you save the config file and you're done. About 15 seconds and you are done.
Yep.
Let's see, Torben says, can you sandpaper the PLA you print to get finer, or is there another way that I need to get it more clean with no lines?
You asked if you could sand it?
Yeah, and he says it doesn't have a resin printer. He's got an apartment, and the fumes are no good for
apartment dwellers. Yeah, you can, and you could always print thinner lines. So with a 0.4 nozzle, you could print down to, I think 0.14, 0.15 layers, and still be okay. Just make sure your flow rate's tuned right.
Drew says sanding is fine, just takes time.
Yeah, and then I've heard
and lots of dust.
Yeah. And PLA can be hard to sand. Actually, it's a hard material. But it's doable. Also, there are some people who use like acetone fumes. So they'll get like a mason jar and they'll put a little bit of acetone in it and then put whatever they've printed in the jar. Just make sure it's not touching the acetone, so have it hanging or up on a little platform. Close the lid and the fumes from the acetone will melt the outside of the PLA, and it just takes a couple of minutes and it will smooth it. I've seen people have do like a benchy and do that and it looks like glass. It's really cool. So, but dimensional accuracy becomes a problem with that. If you're looking for dimensionally accurate stuff, that might be an issue. But if you're just wanting to make knickknacks or models and stuff like that and you want it to be really smooth, that's a way to do it. YouTube has some good information about that. So
ZL Akron, I think is how we're pronouncing that. Sorry if I'm getting that wrong. 1122 says, hi, I have an artillery Sidewinder X2 for about a month now. Beginner in this field, I've run into some issues. My hot end got flooded when printing today and the print head dropped from the Z axis. I'm guessing the screws got tightened too much.
So did the plastic overflow around the hot end, around the heat block, I'm assuming? Which is a common thing that happens on those. And the pressure buildup from that can push the heat break out or break it. So if it's oozed plastic all around your heat block, you could heat it up and then slowly pick away the plastic until you can get the whole block apart and off of there, and then use a heat gun and slowly work at it. Just be careful, the wires for the thermistor are super fragile. Or a whole new assembly for the hot end assembly is not that expensive, and putting it together correctly. I talked about that on the live stream, doing the hot end on this.
So out of the box, what upgrades do you recommend to the printer?
Out of the box, definitely my extruder breakout board. She's getting one right now.
I knew I'd get to throw something at you eventually today.
Hey, it's got sharp corners. Please don't throw it.
Oh, come on.
Oh. All right.
Hang on, hang on.
All right. Definitely this. This is the replacement breakout board that the ribbon cable plugs into. This one has a locking ribbon connector and a better screw terminal for the heater, so you don't have to worry about it catching on fire. I'm not saying fire is a total risk, but the connector for the ribbon cable is not great on the stock one. It will eventually start causing you problems. If you look on, especially for the X1 and the Genius, that was a bigger problem on those. At least the X2 and the Genius Pro have a little like strain relief on the ribbon cable, but still you want a better connector for it. And then eventually going to a PEI coated magnetic build surface. This one is the EP3D branded one. We're almost ready to start taking pre-orders on these, but it's smooth on one side, textured on the other. It comes with a magnetic sheet that sticks straight to the glass. And prints stick to it better, and it's easier to get your prints off because you could just, yeah.
Drew responded with his thoughts. I'll give you a guess what he said.
Klipper. We're working on that. Other than that, the firmware that I have for the TFT is just you could use it with the stock mainboard firmware, and it's just a little bit more functional. Plus, it looks cool because I did the GUI for it. So yeah.
Torben asked, do you have a Discord by any chance so I can get in contact there?
I actually do have. I'm on Discord. I was browsing through the artillery Discord, so you could find me. I think it's the same Ethereal Project 3D, or you can contact me on Facebook or Instagram. At Ethereal Project 3D, or on the website, you could send me a message directly. So,
when do we plan on having the link up for the pre-orders? Drew says EP3D sheets, take my money.
We got to finish figuring out the shipping because we're working on what packaging we're going to get and weights and stuff like that within the next 2 weeks, I would say. Right? Is that what you said?
I thought the plan was to do it like today.
2 weeks or sooner.
If it's up to him in 2 weeks, if it's up to me today.
Right. If we have time today, we could get it done. I mean, it's a lot of work on the website, but I could do it. Right now, estimated shipping in the US will be about $15. Canada, $20, and then the rest of the world about $25 for the 310 millimeter one, and probably a couple bucks less for the smaller one. So for shipping, and then it'll be $50 US retail for the 310 millimeter one, and $40 US for the smaller one for the Genius and Hornet, plus shipping, of course. So,
Glenn Brown says camera. Hi, Glenn.
Camera. Are we on the wrong camera?
Oh, yep, we are. Sorry. Thanks, Glenn. Glad somebody called me out on that one.
There we go.
I was over here distracted by the chat.
Right.
Oof. We have someone who says, off topic, what mic do you use? It sounds great.
These are the DJI wireless mic system. It's 2 mics, receiver, and a little... Do I have the case? Oh, the case is over there.
Do you want me to throw it at you?
Sure. Product placement. I'm not sponsored by DJI. This is not a sponsor segment. I just really like their microphones. And I hear they make good drones. Don't throw that, please. I don't sports and it's heavy.
How else do you want me to get it to you?
Hand it to me. Ugh. She's camera shy. We'll get her on camera one of these days. Yeah, it's got a case. Your bits go in it. And the cool thing is it's got an adapter for Android and Apple. So you have wireless audio, professional sounding, on your smartphone. If you use it for vlogging and stuff like that, a lot of people go that route and it works really good. So, and I've charged it twice in about the year I've owned them. So.
Amon says, and I learned Spanish. I did not learn all the other languages that sound similar, but merci por cet video.
Thank you for the video. I believe that's French.
Close, but not. Close.
That's my best translation of it.
So I'm saying close. Oh, thanks, Drew. Drew says 20 points if I hit you with it. See, everybody else wants me to throw stuff at you.
High score. Can I start programming this thing?
All right. So, Mod says, hi, I recently updated my artillery's firmware to get it to print up to 300 Celsius. I've noticed temperature spikes on the heater block plus or minus 5. I tried PID tuning it, but I'm still seeing the issue.
So you're reaching the limit of the thermistor at that temperature, so you might get some inaccuracies. What temperature are you PID tuning it at? So if you're trying to print at, say, like 280, set your PID tune temp to 280, and then you can do it multiple times too, because sometimes it takes more than once. Like I've had to do it 4 or 5 times on a machine that I did a lot of work on to get it to be even. And a 5-degree swing is, I guess depending on your printing, it could be pretty temperature sensitive. So yeah, that's kind of a lot. But yeah, tune it at the temperature you're trying to print at. Like if you're trying to print right at 300, you're going to be that's pushing the absolute limits of the thermistor.
We have another question. Do you ship to Sweden?
I do ship to Sweden. Actually, there was a board on its way to Sweden right now that left 3 or 4 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, and it's, for the board, the shipping is $13.50, I think. I just did flat rate. I set up a flat rate system that Easy Ship has, so it's cheaper than USPS International, and it's just as reliable.
So Torben says, I noticed after the magnetic plate I needed to heat the bed from 60 to 70 degrees.
Yes.
But now it sticks to the plate.
But what?
Now it sticks to the plate?
Well, you want your part to stick, right? Please explain. We're not understanding. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to open that laptop today.
What time is it?
Everybody's on a roll here. We've got good chats going on today.
Okay, well, I'm going to start.
Whatever. You do you.
This is the Klipper stream. We can continue to chat and work. I gotta get this set up and format the SD card.
Oh, it means it doesn't get loose. Like it won't come off. That's what I'm guessing.
Oh, so you let it cool. Take the thing off and let it cool for 10 or 15 minutes. And then if it still doesn't get loose, try 5 degrees hotter. And if you're doing, say you want to, with glass you have it at 60 and you're pumping it up to 70 with the plate, you can try 60 on the plate, and if it still sticks, it still sticks. Where's my mouse at? All right.
All right, you want...
No, you don't have to do that just yet. I got to format the SD card.
Oh my goodness, okay.
Oh my goodness. I want to get going on this. And we have 10 minutes and I haven't even started.
Okay, that's what next week's for.
Tomorrow, Pi Day. Shall we do Pi Day tomorrow?
I have things I have to do.
Okay.
And what is your live stream without me throwing stuff at you?
Right.
Seriously. It's what the people come for.
That's fair. Do a quick format real quick. Done.
Oh, awesome. Slackern says, great, I'll order a board then.
Perfect.
We look forward to seeing it. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much.
We got boards going out tomorrow morning.
And you get an awesome EP3D sticker,
Yes.
which you can see there.
Okay. Let's do this. And we will continue the chat. So I've saved a few things getting all this started. The first thing is to put an image of Pi OS on your SD card. So, and I'll leave links to this and other things for setting this up in the description. I totally forgot to do all that when I set up the stream. So first up, choose OS, choose storage. It knows that's it. And then down here, we want to set up our host name, and we're going to call this SWX2. We want to enable SSH and use password authentication. Our username is going to be PI. Our password is going to be RPI123. You can make this whatever you want. Configure
now
the
everybody
LAN.
can get into your Raspberry Pi. Now everybody can get into your Raspberry Pi. They know your password.
Right, I'm going to unplug it when I'm not using it. And then I'll change the password. Actually, that's just the SSH into it. You have to be on the local network, I think. Unless you're like zero cool, you're a hacker. And then it should automatically detect your wireless connection and set up all that for you. So all that stuff. Yep, save, and then...
Oh.
Right.
Torben says he meant that after he heated it to 60, every print would just be loose, wouldn't stick.
Okay.
And then tried to raise the bed to 70. Now the prints so far have worked.
Okay. Yes. And that's pretty typical because you have a temperature delta trying to get all that heat through the magnet and then the steel and all that kind of stuff. So, and the magnet is, I wouldn't call it an insulator, but it's not the best conductor of temperature, of heat. So.
I'm sorry about that, Torben. That's my fault. It's Monday and I'm here. I promise.
Right. I want to continue. Let's make this a 2-hour stream.
Sackern says, "Woo, sticker."
See, I told you people like stickers. They may not say anything afterwards, but it's definitely appreciated.
Mike says, "There could be a van outside the place right now. Information travels fast across the internet. Change your password now."
It does, yes.
Just kidding.
Well, I haven't
is
even
he?
powered the thing up yet, so good luck. I'm just writing the Pi OS.
All of this sassy grumpiness I got to experience after I hid all of his toys when they came through the mail.
Right.
Truly like a kid on Christmas.
See, I could have gotten this started and we could have had the chat while this was running. I told you. Yeah, I'm being sassy.
How terrible. People want to talk to you. Oh my.
Well, they could talk while we wait. Time management, come on.
You telling me about time management?
Whatever. Well, that runs. I'm going to do the peel on this.
So Torben says, so he's only plugged it into the USB to the Raspberry Pi for now.
I haven't even powered the Pi. I don't even know if it works. It could be a dead unit. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Ooh, Ray says, I may have figured it out. Quality issue on my Hornet after I cleared an extruder jam. I'll keep you updated.
Yeah. Definitely keep us updated because I'm curious. I've been wondering about that. It takes a little while.
Mike says, the guys from Hack 5 are already on it. Gonna make your printer print something inappropriate on live stream.
That's fine. I'll just blur it in post.
Drew asks, are you gonna have the Raspberry Pi hooked up to a monitor for the internal boot?
Like this guy?
And says, you're not management.
No, I'm not management.
I think he means like something that we can...
Oh yeah, I'll have it on here. I'll just, when I get mainsail up and running, I'll do it up on the laptop so you guys can see with me. So, yeah, this is fancy, you being able to see what I got going on here. I love this. My producer wife has been wonderful in helping me get the channel teched out here. So, verifying.
As in, he's gotten some pretty cool Christmas gifts.
I've gotten some wonderful Christmas gifts and birthday gifts, and I love it. Thank you. I like toys. I like technology. Technology's fun. And I like cameras, too. Cameras are fun. So, I like playing with my cameras, and the more buttons they have, the merrier.
Drew says, just a reminder, give it a few seconds for the first boot as I'll have to do its initial boot sequence.
I heard it's about 5 minutes. All right.
Which is exactly what we've got.
It's exactly what we've got. And then I got to bring up the program, PuTTY and all that kind of stuff. I know. I don't want to reformat the disk. Continue. All
Does
right.
that mean I'm getting the little one while you continue?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't mind. I just won't be able to answer chats because she's going to go pick up the small one from daycare. Okay. Insert SD card here. And then plug it in, plug it in. We're just going to use what I've already got plugged in. Hey, we have lights. There. So we'll give that a few minutes.
Slackard1122 says, I'd like to edit the address. Way too much useless info. Oh my goodness, I can read today, I promise. Way too much useless info and the order got registered. Just go ahead and send us an email and we'll get that updated before we send it out.
Yeah, just email the address you want me to use and I could change it.
Ray says, lights is good.
Lights is good, yeah. We got a green light and a red light, and the green light's blinking like it's thinking, and the red light, I'm assuming, means that it's on. So, It's so quiet.
Drew says, green light is good.
Green is good.
Red light equals power.
Okay.
It's got the power.
Unleash the power of the Raspberry. What was it from Spaceballs, the jam? We've been jammed. And was
Is this hardwired or Wi-Fi?
This is going to be Wi-Fi, but it has an Ethernet connection if you wanted to hardwire it. So, but our router is on the other side of the house, and so our long Ethernet cable is currently being used by
our sensors are jammed.
It seems to be Raspberry. Only one man would give me the Raspberry. Lone Star. It's not Disney. It's okay. She's worried, like, that's copyrighted material. Like, you could talk about a movie on YouTube. No one cares. Unless it's Disney. Don't talk about Disney.
You just did.
It's not Disney.
You're saying the word right now.
Is the word copyright? I say the word Disney.
You just said it again.
Whatever. Okay, I think we're that's been enough time. It's been a few minutes. Now we bring up this program, PuTTY. This is an SSH, or it stands for Secure Shell. And the definition is, it has the word cryptographic in it, which makes it fun. But it's just essentially how to access a system on your network without having a monitor and all that kind of stuff. So hostname or IP, hostname, SWX2, open. And it should come up with like a password requirement, maybe? Maybe it's not ready.
Drew told you. He told you to wait. I mean, that was a while ago. I don't know if he's still saying you have to wait, but
network connection timed out. Okay, maybe it's not ready. Give it a minute. How long can it take? Come on.
We have a request for Bagheera to come back.
Bagheera, where's the kitty at?
I don't know.
She ran off.
She's mad because I'm not letting her chew on the power cords.
We've all seen Christmas Vacation, right?
Well, for a little while, she was licking the power brick.
Wow. AC adapter.
Oh, Drew's got to go. Thanks for visiting with us.
Thank you so much for visiting, Drew. We love having you on.
Speaking of, I've got to go too. I will be back with a screeching 3-year-old.
Almost 4-year-old. Yep. So she's going to go get the little one. So I won't be able to see the chats. I'm just going to continue what I'm doing, and then we'll catch back up on the chats when she gets back.
Here, I got you covered.
Oh. That works. Actually, could I do that from my phone? Yeah, I'll just be you. Yeah.
You just read them.
That's fair. I'll just read them from her phone. Look at that.
You make something so difficult.
That's my job.
I know.
I'm watching myself.
Is it weird?
There's a delay. It's weird.
Stop
Okay.
watching yourself. It's weird.
Okay, so I have chats now here. We'll read and possibly respond. So we're gonna try PuTTY again. Hopefully I got everything right. Let's see, SWX2, open. Something strange is afoot. Wait, it won't let me type anything. Is it not showing? Okay. Why is it not showing this? Oh, because of the delay. Oh man, why is it? So this is where we have difficulties because I've never done this before. I mean, I've used PuTTY, but I've never done a Pi like this before. So we're gonna restart it here. Maybe that's what it needs. A reboot. Okay, we're gonna try again. I don't like this. Okay, we're gonna redo the, maybe I did something wrong for the OS here. So we're gonna redo it. Format disk. And actually we're gonna do, this is what we're gonna do. Cancel. Disk management, disk, create and format hard disk partitions. What do we got? Boot. We're gonna delete that partition. Oh, come on. And delete that partition. And then we're going to new simple volume. Next, we're gonna make it 8 gigabytes. Yeah. Yeah, 8, what would that be? Let's see, 4096 is 4 gigabytes, so 8, 1, 80, I don't know, we'll just go 9,000. Or we'll just go 8,000. I don't think it matters. I'm not mathing today. Next, FAT32, sure. Finish. There we go. It might have an issue with it being exFAT instead of actually FAT32. I would assume. All right, we're gonna redo this. Imager 8192. That sounds about right. Thank you, Ray. I'm not mathing today. I think 8,000 should be fine, right? Choose storage. Am I still saying it's 60 gigs? What? No. Should only be, well, we'll try it. Host name, SWX2, enable SSH, PI, RPI, I think that's it, and make sure. Yep, that's it. Sure. Save. Right. Yes. Okay, we're going to do this again. See, don't forget to configure the Wi-Fi. I just did that, or it won't work. So it was grayed out, so I might have not, I did it differently this time, so I might not have done it right. I said this is all new to me, so we're learning as we go. Yes, Ray, cross his fingers. Is price correct? It'll be for the X2 board, $20 US, and then the shipping will be like, I think it's $13.50. That's what it sets it at for your area in Europe there. So in fact, while that loads, I'll look at it. Yep, that's correct. Play the waiting game. Oh, comment just above it. Let's see. Oh, it looks like the Raspberry costs like a little under half price of the Sidewinder X2. Is that price correct? Yeah. So they're expensive. They'll be $200+. This kit that I got here is $279 US, which is highway robbery, but you gotta take what you can get, and we've been fortunate enough to have a lot of good support from you guys. So it's allowed us the ability to do this. And we thank you very much. And I didn't even think about bringing this up on the phone to read comments while she gets the kid. See, she's much smarter than me when it comes to like actual things that you need to be able to do. No, I don't want to format the disk. Why does it keep asking me that? There's that. Okay. Continue. All right. Methinketh we got this right. Let's try again. Oh boy. Give that a few minutes to load up. Sorry it's taken so long to send you that stuff. Health issues. Oh, don't worry about it. I'm just glad you're doing okay. Haven't heard from you for a while. Take your time. No rush. Whatever time you need and all that, don't even worry about it. So you get yourself feeling better. First step. So. See, still not sure why it does. Lol, sorry. I am not 20 years anymore. I'm sorry, I'm not understanding. Sorry for my ignorance on that comment, Torben. How long should I give this? How long does it actually take? Is it 2 minutes? Is it 5 minutes? What it does, the thing you doing. Oh, I had to rewrite the Pi OS onto the SD card, and then, because I think I messed up the Wi-Fi settings so it wasn't connecting with PuTTY. And then I put it back in the Pi, and it takes a few minutes for it to do its initial loading of a fresh install. I guess I could hook a screen up to it, an HDMI or something, and see what it's doing. Oh, it's okay. I understand. If English is not your main language, I totally get it. Swedish is not my main language, so if I tried to talk to you in Swedish, it would be a disaster. So you're doing about 1,000,000 times better than I could. Still blinking. We're going to try it. I'm going to try it. Please work. Yay! The host key is accept. We are in. Log in as Pi. And then for this, when you type the password in, you won't actually see it populate the field. Just know it is putting the password in. So, all right, we're in. Okay, so what we got to do is we got to bring up the Klipper installer helper. We're going to take that over there. We're going to do this, that. Let's see, Klipper installer and update helper. Bam. All right, so, and I'm just going off of the whole RPI. Danish, I am so sorry if I think I said Swedish. I am so sorry, you're Danish. My bad. Danish, I don't know Danish either. I used to be okay at saying, what was it, red porridge with cheese or something like that in Danish. A friend of mine from high school, he's Danish, so he spoke Danish with his parents all the time. So, and that was always a funny sounding phrase, but there's no way I could say it now. So, all right, we're here. We got up the GitHub for the KIAUH, Kiowa, Klipper installer and update helper. This is the newfangled thing that people are doing apparently to do Klipper, and it seems way easier than other ways of doing it. So it goes through setting up your Pi, and then it has step 1, 2, 3, and 4. So step 1, we need to copy this. Actually, it's got a copy, and then over here in your PuTTY terminal, right click, and it pastes it. Hit enter. And this should load up this program called Git, and it helps get things. Yes. Raspberry. It said that terribly wrong. Oh man. Let's see. Hey, we're there. Okay, so the next step, step 2, we need to bring up, what is it, CD space, root directory, copy that, right click, and this is, once Git is installed, the following command to download Kiowa into your home directory. So this just downloads the script. And this is pretty cool that this is smart enough to know how to do this. I like this. Pretty good. Thank you. I'm glad I'm not the worst you've heard. Oh, here we go. That was quick. Okay, finally start Kiowa and run the next command. Let's see. And enter. Oh boy. Okay. So step 1, we need to install. So 1, and I'm just doing this off of memory from a YouTube video that I've watched about 10 times. There we go. And then 1, it's all kind of in order. That's the nice thing, is you look at the options here and it's all in order. So 1, enter, and this will download it. Python 3. So option 1, enter. Please select the number of Klipper instances you set up. Just 1. Yeah, it's already there. Okay, here we go. So this takes about 5 or so minutes. So we play the waiting game again while this downloads and installs what it needs to do. So we'll bring all this over here. Hey Drew, you're back. Welcome back. I was gonna tell Torben what I do miss about having friends that are from Denmark is that, well, he was born here, his parents were born in Denmark. His mom would go home every year and she'd bring back really yummy salt licorice, the little coins, and man, so yummy. What a delicacy. And you can't get them like that in the States. You just can't. This is still downloading. And everyone that's still hanging out, we do appreciate you hanging out. I know this has gone on for an hour and 15 now, but I'm excited. I want to at least get the Pi stuff done, and then next week, when we do this, we're gonna start setting it up, actually getting it on the printer, and hopefully getting the firmware and the configuration set up on that, and then maybe run it maybe on the 3rd week, hopefully, or 4th. I don't know. I will be. Thank you. Thank you. Downloading. I feel like doing these SSH hackery things. I feel like a hacker. I feel like Zero Cool. I know it's like I use PuTTY and a similar setup at work for the equipment that we work on, but every time I do it, I feel like I'm hacking into the Gibson. It seems so magical to me, even though the concept is many, many decades old. Your son is 22. Wow. You're not that old. That's not that bad. I mean, I'm getting old. I'm going to be 38 this year. Oh my goodness, I'm going to be 38 this year. I heard the garage door open. That means the producer wife and the screeching 4-year-old, almost 4-year-old is home. And I mean screeching in the nicest way. She is amazing. And you're going to hear her. See, you're not that old. Come on. You know, 50's the new 40, right? Isn't that what they say? Actually, if you're a fan of Vsauce, check that out. He did a video this year talking about how people looked old, like young people looked older back in the day, and there's like a whole explanation for like how it's a weird mental thing, and it's pretty weird. Check that out. Boy, this is loading all sorts of fun stuff. Warning, your current user is not group. Okay, add Pi to group now. Yes. Hey, so we've got Klipper installed on the Pi. Now we need to install Moonraker, and Moonraker is an API that lets Mainsail or Fluid or whatever interface you're going to use actually connect and talk to Klipper on the Pi. So option 2, enter, install Moonraker. Yes, enter, and it's going to go through its thing. And there's the neighbor with his Miata. I'm a young guy. I just want instance for now. I imagine for each printer, you would want an individual instance for every specific printer, is what you're saying, right, Drew? Okay. I'm going to learn how to do this on one printer to start with, and then in the future I'll do more. Because I do know I want to run Klipper on the Core XY printer. That is definitely a goal. Yes. Oh, the neighbor's so annoying. Okay, Moonraker is installed. Now we need Mainsail installed. So, yeah, 3, enter. And there's the 3-year-old.
You are. You have to ask Daddy if it's okay.
Go big or go home. Once you've done it once, it's easy. Yeah, probably like with anything like this.
Dad, look at me, beautiful.
Hang on, baby.
Yeah. And flashing the printer is the biggest pain, in my opinion. I've heard that can be complicated, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. She could be on camera.
Okay.
Yeah. Nope. You don't want the world to see you?
No.
Nope. Okay.
Can I watch on your computer?
See, this SWX2 sucked. So downloaded. Sorry, everyone. Download the recommended macros. Yes. Sure. Thank you, Drew. I think that's it. So now we should be able to bring mainsail up. So back. All right, so we got Klipper installed, has the right repository, Moonraker installed, mainsail installed. Okay. Say no. Say no to what? Main shell should work. Okay. So we should be able to go over here and type in http://swx2.local. Oh, we're in. We're in. Klipper reports error. The MCU unable to connect. Once the underlying issue is corrected, use the firmware. Okay, so we don't have firmware connected to it just yet, but mainsail is in here. We're connected. It was again to my. Oh, just ask here. Will you come with mom on cam? Then how can mom say no?
What did I do?
So Tobin says, or Torben says, just to ask her to come with mommy on camera, and then she can't say no. I like that. I like that. All right. That means it's not connected to the printer. Yes, I would assume that's what that means. So I don't have firmware on this firmware, the configuration on the printer just yet.
I see Drew's back.
He is back.
I feel like I was lied to. He said he was going to go too when I left. Come back, I'm still here.
Right. Okay, so from here I'm a bit lost. My goal was to get to this point today, and that happened a little bit quicker than I expected once I got started. Click on the 3 bars and you could find the default config up here. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, console G-code, viewer history, machine. You're gonna have to walk me through this, Drew. Because I have it. Machine. Perfect. Ah, here we go.
Wow.
So I will take my config and replace this.
Do you want me to scoot you in a little? Yeah, here, scoot back.
Oh, I see.
Scoot back.
Okay,
Scoot back.
I got this.
Badoo.
I have this. And then I'm assuming I need all this. Come on, come on. Oh, come on. Okay, back over to here. Okay, just copy and paste. See, Mike Jones says, cool, yeah, I heard Klipper on the Pi does all the calculating, and that power to your printer is just, point to your printer is just flash with the Klipper firmware over the drive motors. Yes. Control A, wait, what?
Control V is paste.
Yeah.
Don't delete the stuff at the top yet.
Don't delete the stuff. Okay. So leave everything at the top here. IS starts from printer. Here, we're just gonna. Oh my goodness. Okay, where are we at? Drew says thanks. Okay, so at what line do I need to remove things, Drew? Because I pasted in from line 13 here. Or do I leave all of this stuff? One second, he says. Should you have headphones or no?
Is that bothering you?
Oh, no, it's not that bad.
I'm just going to have to steal my phone back to read, unless you
Yeah.
prefer having that.
No.
So you can read them.
You could be scribe.
Is it too confusing?
It's distracting. Okay.
The printer and MCU should be below from what you copied. Scroll down and see if you can find them.
Okay. Let's see, we have heat bed, fan, temperature probe.
Sorry, it'd help if I turn my mic
Okay,
on.
we're here. So the printer and MCU is there. Okay, perfect. So I could basically from 5 to 23 remove that, right?
Okay, so delete the stuff at the top.
From 1 to 23?
The delay is killer.
The what?
The delay is awful.
Yeah, I think there's a way to have less delay, but I heard it causes issues with the bandwidth of the stream.
1 to 4 need to stay.
Okay, that's okay. So we're gonna go to 5 and then just start deleting lines here. Doot, 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 doot. Oh yeah.
Drew says, do you have your phone? He can use Messenger.
Oh, that would be easier, yeah. No delay.
And your phone is...
Right here.
Go.
Gotcha, Drew. Wait. Gap. Okay. Although he's going to see about 30 seconds after I do what I do. On here, I think there's a video delay. Well,
There
and
is.
the chat delay, so
But the two of you can be chatting it up awkwardly. While the rest
Awkwardly.
of us are watching the two of you have a little private conversation. That wouldn't be weird at all.
right. So, well, I don't have a Humera on it, Drew. I changed the thermistor and I changed the probe settings for my probe to what I believe is correct.
Oliver says, hi, dude.
Hi, Oliver. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. This has been a good stream so far. I like it.
Lots of conversation.
Yeah.
Drew says, okay.
Okay. So,
Torben says, yeah, you get the same result. Oh, I think from the chat with like Facebook chat.
yeah. It's a weird delay. Okay, so that's good. So go back. Is there a save? Save and close. Save and restart. I'm going to say save and close.
Drew says, what would you like to do? YouTube or Messenger?
YouTube just is fine. Because this is going to be awkward. Or I might see your message earlier on here. And then I could,
Something-
yeah.
But if this was distracting, is that going to be distracting?
Maybe we'll try it.
Okay.
I have it there. Message me. I'll get that before we see it on there. And then I'll have to respond to you vocally. So we only have half of the delay. So
And 3 times the runaround.
3 times the runaround, right? So I got to this point pretty easy, and that's as far as I got learning how to do this. So
Drew says, yes, save and close.
save and close. There we go. So I think I need to compile the firmware now, right? What's up? You're probably hearing the fans and the lights.
Thought I heard some cat cackling.
Oh. We have a poor chicken that's not feeling well in our bathtub because it's cold and rainy outside. Okay.
Better that than in the oven, I guess.
So if everything was working now, you would save and close that. You just have to hit the restart button, and your firmware changes would be saved. Well, I'm not connected, Drew. So let me open it. Yep, it's all there.
So he's still going to see what you say late. So you might have to like.
That's fair. From here, it gets weird. And the printer would work. Yes. But I do need to. I know I need to compile.
Oliver says it's normal. Not sure if that's about the chicken in the tub or...
Probably. If you're not familiar with the show Big City Greens, watch it. It's hilarious. But we're totally...
Another Disney shout out. Seriously?
It's free advertising.
What's wrong with you?
Because Disney owns everything.
Exactly.
They
so
are
just don't
the
say
empire.
anything.
Okay. Oh, that's funny. Okay, next step is to go back into Kiowa and flash the printer now. Okay, back into Kiowa.
Oliver says, you don't have your MCU with SSH command?
I do. I have PuTTY up right now.
Glenn says, oven chicken is much better than bathtub chicken.
Yes, Glenn. In some cases, yes. But this chicken is a nice chicken, Glenn.
I mean, I guess like oven wine versus bathtub wine would probably take bathtub wine over oven wine. Would that like...
Maybe. Power cord. I'm gonna have to plug this guy in.
Oliver says, is dev serial by is /dev/serial /by-id/asterisk in your Raspberry Pi?
I'm gonna say no. See, Drew's messaging me here.
Kyle says, is bathtub chicken a euphemism for a crockpot chicken? No, but we do have, if we did that, we do have bathtub cow going.
We do. We don't have a cow in our bathtub. I hear what you're saying, Drew, and I'm gonna do it with prawn or face.
But if we're talking about a bathtub being the crock pot, then we do have like half of a cow in the crock pot. So the cow is in the tub.
The cow is in the tub. That's fair. Can I reach it from here? Where is the USB? Ah, no. Where is it? There it is. Going in blind here. That does not feel right.
Glenn says he guesses we would get less eggs if it became an oven chicken.
Yes, we get 100% less eggs.
We'd have 100% more dinner, but 100% less breakfast.
Yes.
Or are those conversion rates correct?
Sounds correct.
Is it a Canadian chicken or an American chicken? Because then do we have to like account for the imperial versus metric chicken, or?
I don't know. All right, Drew, we're in DFU mode. Next. Okay. So /dev serial is what you need. So do I put that in Kiowa? DEV SERIAL BY-ID.
Drew's asking Oliver if that dev serial, the thing you're entering now, if that's what you're going to find in the next step.
Okay.
Glenn says you only get one oven chicken, but you get continuous eggs.
We do.
So I guess that conversion rate doesn't quite equal out. And Kyle makes a great point and says, isn't a Canadian chicken a goose?
What's a Canadian duck?
If a Canadian duck is a goose, then what's a Canadian chicken?
A far more terrifying animal. An ostrich?
Because we know that's an Australian chicken.
That's fair. Okay, nope. That is a placeholder.
And then what's technically a U.S. chicken? Is that a
Rhode Island red.
seagull, or is that a Eagle.
A bald eagle.
Seagull or an eagle?
Ah. I'm so lost right now, Drew.
Ray says, and as the token Canadian, I can say that these geese are evil.
I am the goose whisperer.
And Drew, Canadian goose is one of my favorite birds. I legitimately want one as a pet someday. So no,
A word bird.
no shame on the Canadian goose.
No shame. They're fun. In Kiowa number 4. Oh, advanced. Oh, you know what? I think, okay.
Torben says, sent you a PM on Facebook. Thank you for the stream. I will look at all your videos and see if I understand better about printing. But it's past midnight there, so time to log off. Thank you so much for joining us, Torben.
Yes, thank you. And feel free, you can message me anytime you want, and I'll get back to you when I can. And you could ask me any question. I'm looking at her trying to talk to you. That's funny. Ask me any question, and I'll do my best to answer and help you along the way with slicer stuff and all that other fun stuff. So I will be your guide if you need me. But thank you for joining the stream. Get some sleep now, bud. All right. We need build only, I would think, right? Because it can't flash at the same time. Build and flash. All right. 4. Okay, this is looking kind of familiar. I've seen this. Not an 18 mega 2560. Oh, I got to put in the actual the STM32 whatever processor this is, huh? I think that's how that goes. Bring this over here. The 3D print beginner thing. Drew asked a question. If I have the website up that I had before.
So you're gonna have to transcribe because we don't know what you and Drew are talking about.
Okay. Yeah, let me bring up. I'll have to bring that up. Messenger. You guys get like the insight here. Sorry, Drew. This is
putting them on the spot.
This is just being broadcast.
Wow.
It's okay. I'm scrolling. There we go. Bam. Okay, scroll down. That's main cell. Blah, 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 blah. We've done all that. Okay, here we go. The Klipper. Let's see, now you are an SSH console with Fluid Pi installed.
Drew gave us a disclaimer that he let you know this would take a long time.
Yes, this is a very time-consuming process. In the login prompt, you need to enter the credentials for Fluid Pi. Okay, I'm already in. Okay. Open the Klipper firmware configuration screen using the following command. So we're there. In the Klipper firmware, you use your navigation. You move through the replicate. Replicate the same settings I used. Ah.
That's my fault, Drew. I hid it from him. That's why he didn't get a whole bunch of it pre-done.
Okay.
He has a habit of liking to take his toys out and play with them ahead of time, and then you guys don't get to see the unboxing and all that because he just ruins it.
So it's a processor F401, huh? All right. Bootloader offset, no bootloader. Because it doesn't have a bootloader. All right. I don't have a clock reference here. How do I add a clock reference? Communication, USB on PA11, yep.
I'm not reading that, Glenn.
What did he say?
No, I said I'm not reading it.
What did he say? Okay, we're gonna bring Drew back up here. Hit space bar. Okay, my timing might be a little off. Am I hitting space bar right meow? This is like the
Your
most...
timing's gonna be off no matter what.
Yeah.
Drew said something about just check all the menus. I don't know if that was in response to the spacebar or not.
No bootloader. So on his thing, he shows a clock reference setup. I don't have that option on here. How do I add a clock reference? Menu. Select the... Select the brackets at the brackets. That makes no sense. I'm gonna enable extra low-level configuration options. Ah, there we go. So we're 8 megahertz. We're there. Okay. When finished, press Q, then Y to save your configuration. Now run the following command to start building the firmware. Q, Y. Thank you, Drew, for your help. I read through this, but my reading comprehension is not great. It's easier for me to see it in video. So the first half of this, I watched a video like 1,000,000 times. That guide is for doing Klipper with Kiowa. Okay. Okay, flash MCU. Please select the flashing method to flash your MCU. Make sure to only select the method your MCU supports. I'm going to assume regular flashing method. Am I correct on that, Drew?
He prepared, Drew. It's just all that alcohol he brought out earlier just, wipes the brain,
The printer is not hooked up to the Raspberry Pi yet. That would be a good first step, huh? Now we're hooked up. Let's not set that on anything metal. Metal. Okay. That would help, yes. Be like, why isn't this working?
You're the guy you're the reason why the joke is out there. Have you tried plugging it in? Try turning it on? Is it plugged in yet? You're the guy.
Golly, I'm the guy. Well, I was we all have our flaws, right? And I was telling her it was last week. It was a late night at work, and I'm using the light on my phone to try to find my phone. It's so stupid. Okay, we're just gonna
You're just mad because I was right. Total senior moment.
We're gonna do that. Wait. Okay, so do I hit 1 and then enter, or do I type in make?
I don't like that one.
Okay. Okay, connection method, USB. Identify. No MCU found. I know it's in DFU mode. I kind of want to just do this manually, like with STM32. So we're going to do this.
It is almost 5 o'clock. Do you have time for that?
Yeah, it's quick.
Okay.
That's all the same. So Q. I just don't know where it puts it. Okay. So I should be able to go into main sale And I should be able to get the firmware file. It should save it somewhere, right? Put the machine. I have the machine in DFU mode. Oh, did I just do all this wrong? Okay, let's see. Let's see. A list of USB devices will be returned. Our printer will be listed under. We need to know the ID of the USB device. Start the flashing process with the following command. Okay. I feel like I've missed a step here.
Drew says make the SH screen larger.
It doesn't scale up any more than this.
Who says KIAUH number 5, get MCU ID?
Okay. Let's see.
And then you just made it smaller again.
No MCU found. So this is the issue. It's not seeing it. We're gonna.
Drew says yes.
Huh?
Drew says yes.
Yes. I'm gonna try this here. All right, connect.
It says connection between the two. I had the same problem.
Yeah, so M997. We are in DFU mode. Disconnect that, close it. And then we're going to use that port. And then 5. Yeah, no DFU, no MCU found. So I think what I'm going to have to do is build the firmware and then manually install the firmware through the Cube programmer if it's not going to connect. So how do I get the built firmware file from the Pi?
So sometimes the issue is the cord from the Raspberry Pi, the printer back feeds. Make sure the printer is only plugged into the Raspberry Pi.
Oh, I
And
don't
it says,
need.
okay, reboot the Pi. I think I was a couple seconds late on reading the replies, sorry.
Oh, okay. It's okay. Do I need to reconnect the SSH? I would imagine so. Oh, yeah, it's super mad.
So quite KIAUH then, after it reboots. Quit.
Yes, we're not ready yet.
Says wait.
Wait. I'm waiting.
SSH back in. It says, how did you reboot it?
I unplugged it and plugged it back in. I'm pretty sure I messed something up,
He
right?
says, man, this delay sucks. Before that, he says, please don't tell me you plugged the Raspberry Pi.
I did. Did I mess it all up?
Don't do that.
Well, is there a reset button on this thing? I don't see a reset button.
I'm just saying, like, I think that you need to figure out how to make a, I don't know, invite Drew onto a live stream with us, if you'd be willing to, and the two of you can chat through this together maybe next week.
Yeah.
Okay, it says, okay, so it won't kill the Pi, but it's not good for it. You need to shut it down from the CMD line.
Oh, from the from the SSH, I'm assuming, right?
So next time, quiet KIAUH and then use.
Quit it. Oh, okay. And
Not shut down, sudo reboot.
sudo reboot. Okay.
Ray says, when I shut down my Pi, I use CMD line and then sudo shutdown now.
Okay.
And Glenn says command line.
Yeah, it still can't connect to it. Still has no idea where to connect or how to get it.
Okay, give me your phone. Drew says, give me your phone.
Is he going to call us?
I don't know.
You can call us, Drew. Message him the phone number. This has turned into a disaster.
CMD equals command.
Oh, okay. So I know the printer's in DFU mode.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting blown up there.
What? Well, yeah, that's Drew blowing you up.
Yeah.
And you're ignoring him.
I'm trying to do this at the same time. That's why I have you here for. I just need to know, where does Klipper save that firmware file? Because I could take that, change the name of it to firmware.bin, and then load it with the STM32Cube programmer, and then it's there.
I fair warn you, Drew, I'm terrible at typing.
Wee-oo. Theme installer? Oh, that's kind of cool.
The DFU mode with the prompter face didn't work.
So do it again.
Before you do anything, try a cable without a power connection, just data. Did you just unplug it?
I'll just unplug the USB. Oh, still on. Okay. So 5, enter. Yep, still not found. So I guess I'm gonna have to do the jumper method.
You can even try a small piece of tape of the data connection.
I don't know what he's talking about. Piece of tape.
Put it back into normal mode, not DFU mode.
But
Try again.
okay. I mean, once it restarts, it's
Did you? Okay.
just the printer. And no power on. Okay, 5. Oh no. Oh, now it sees it, so it doesn't need to be in DFU mode. How silly. Okay, so I guess 3, because it should be, since I already built the firmware, it should still be there, right?
But he says tape over the power pin in the USB cable. That's from earlier.
Oh.
What was your question again?
Since I've already built the firmware, does it save it in Klipper and then I can just go to flash only and it should push it, I would assume? Let's try it.
So make to make in flash. He says he'd make it again.
Oh, so build and flash, so 4. Here we go. And then Q. Checking for the following dependencies. Yep. Okay. Sorry, everyone. This is I knew this was going to be a learning process.
It says make and flash option 4.
Flash MCU. Bam.
You were 4 minutes from a 2-hour-long.
Okay. Make sure select MCU to flash, MCU 1. Do I just hit enter here? Oh. Or just 1?
I'm waiting for it to catch up because I have no idea what you're...
Yeah.
Okay. So that MCU ID should be what you have at the top when you checked before.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. It says you need to say what you're flashing.
Yeah, it says MCU number 1, and then it says what it is. So do I punch in 1 and enter?
Ah, okay. Scroll up if it's number 1 and enter.
Yeah, it's 1. Wow. Flashing failed. Attempting to flash.
He says 31. Number 1 and enter.
I did. Make serial flash device dev serial by ID USB.
How long is the delay?
I think it's 30 seconds. Error 255. Make file. I'll try that again.
I'm sorry, Drew. This is my attempt at getting you slightly ahead of the video with the info. He says do it again. Make and flash.
Flashing. 4. Build and flash. Let's make sure everything is the same as how he has it on here. And I might need to put that jumper in or who knows what. Okay, Steam 32, 401, no bootloader, USB. This might be different. No, okay. So Q, building firmware. If only I knew where the heck it saved this firmware file, I would do it manually. Because this is silly.
Shut that thing off so it doesn't make a whole bunch of
Oh,
noise. As it's already making noise, it's going to make noise when it...
Oh, when it goes
oops.
back, yeah.
Nope. We're just going to stop it there.
Still sees it as Marlin on there.
He says he has an idea.
Yeah. What's the idea, Drew?
Connect the printer to the computer as well.
There's only one USB connection to the printer.
Oh, wait.
We're going to try that again and watch it fail again. Yep. Yeah, I need to figure out where it saves this bin file because I'm not going to... So part of me doing a tutorial on this is finding a foolproof way to do it that doesn't require trickery.
Drew says, arg.
Arg, yeah. So I might have to just end it here and do some more research on where it saves that bin file.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
You and Drew can get together and chat a little bit.
Yeah, because I know there's a way to do it. Because, like, actually, yes. Okay, I got an idea. I got an idea. So we're going to do that again.
Ray says he's got to go, but wish us the very best in figuring this out.
I'm going to do that again. And we're going to tell it to do it like an SD card. And it should give us a file, I think.
And Drew says, yeah, this issue as well he did get it to work this way, though. Says sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
He says, did this with his CR10s and Pro version 2, and it just worked.
Right. It's the Ruby mainboard. It's really, really goofy. And not...
Now, Ricardo says, FTP to the Pi, your bin file is on folder/out.
Folder/out. I haven't FTP'd into thing in so long. Can I do that from PuTTY or can I do that from main cell? How is the controller board connected?
Drew says, yes, the Ruby board is the issue.
Yes, it's not great.
Drew says you can SCP the file. I'm just reading things out because you guys are throwing out like some language I don't know.
Whoa, the following boards are currently supported. Okay, so that's not the right way to do it.
Secure copy. Ah.
Ah.
That's what SCP is.
Okay. Oh man, how do we even do that? Can that be done from PuTTY or God, I haven't done that in so long. Like 20 years. Yeah. Control console.
Drew says, I've got it.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Yeah. I guess you could just text them and not talk to each other, not have us chat.
I was doing that for a little bit and then I couldn't see what you were doing, and so it made it hard for me to respond about what you were saying. And we've got this. We're figuring this out. Chris says Win SCP is probably your easiest option.
Win SCP.
Drew keeps saying quick KIAUH.
Okay.
It's okay, Drew. Me either. That makes more sense, though. I was like, quiet. What is quiet? I got it now. Quit.
Quit. All right. I think I've quit. It says happy printing. Q again. Bad command. Okay. I've quit KIUAH. Kiowa. I'm going to call it Kiowa. Kiowa.
Type in the following. No, not actually the following. Stop it. Weirdo. CD/OPT. Or I guess it's probably backslash. Now CD.
Not found.
CD space.
Space.
OPT.
That. CD space.
/OPT.
Backslash?
Yeah.
No such file or directory.
It says nope. Oh, gotcha. Okay, CD space /out.
Out. Oh.
Sorry, Drew. Donald says forward.
I thought with putty it was a squiggly. Okay. Just gonna try them all.
Could be totally annoying and be completely literal, Drew, and say CD space /out. Because he wrote CD space. Wrote out space. Whatever.
I do have a
Never mind.
space there.
Other slash.
Like that? I have it typed in.
Okay, you know what? This might be easier. He's going to tell you exactly what to type in.
Okay. ISAL. Other slash. Not working, Drew.
Mommy, I would like something to eat.
All right. I think we're gonna have to get off of here. It's getting close to dinner time for the child and us, and I need to do some research on how to find the make file. It is never backslash. It is always /.
Sorry. Turn the thing up. Sorry.
You're fine.
Let me go find some for you.
See, I'm used to like command prompt DOS CD /.
I've never seen /.
I've never have either.
But I can't hear me. My mic is off.
That's fair. I've never used WinSCP. Opt out. CD /OPT /OUT. No such file or directory. Something strange is afoot.
I also have to get back to work.
Oh. A donut. Okay.
Yes, I'm a quality parent. I gave my child a donut.
I say we call it and see if we can find where the file is. This could take a while. Yeah, I agree. This could take a while. And I'm just going to have to do some research on this one. And then we'll continue on next week or Pi Day. Do you want to do Pi Day tomorrow, honey?
I have things I have to do
No, you
tomorrow,
don't.
silly.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do.
But it's his fault.
I'd actually like to go to my appointment to be able to see straight and clearly. Everything's like off kilter and blurry. It's weird.
Well, we could do it at 2. and go to like 2 to 3:30. No? Okay, next week. See, we couldn't even have done 3:14 anyway because you have things to do.
Well, there you go.
Let's take a week and figure it out. Thank you, Glenn. That makes lots of sense. I'm not a silly Unix commands person. Yep. So we're gonna cut it here. It's been going on for an hour and 10 minutes anyway.
No.
Sorry, 2 hours and 10 minutes. Yes, I count numbers. Yay.
You count in metric.
Yes, we'll pick it up next week, Drew, and I'll do some research tonight, and tinker with it. So.
The PEI sheets. When do you plan on having that up?
Within 2 weeks at the latest. We'll have pre-orders available in 2 weeks at the latest. Because we still got to figure out our packing stuff and shipping and all that stuff. And I don't want to give you guys and say, we're going to do it tomorrow. And then we get stuck doing something or busy or I can't figure it out or something. So 2 weeks is plenty of time. It could be earlier. It could be 3 days from now. I don't know. But no later than 2 weeks. What's to look for? Is your microphone on?
It is, but my microphone can't pick up my look.
This look you're giving me can easily be picked up by a microphone. Can you guys hear that look?
So I imagine that the people who've been waiting forever
Yeah.
would like a more defined, definitive, and less time.
I will work on it tomorrow. I will make that my goal tomorrow.
Cool.
And I will let you know if it's done or not.
When we put the pre-orders up on the website, we will put something in there, but just to let all of you who've hung out with us for this long know, we are going to be putting it out about a month to 2 months between taking the pre-orders and when your box may ship. So please bear with us. Nice thing about pre-orders is you get your hands on the first ones. The downside is you're going to have to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
But it'll help us get those ordered and on the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's gonna, they have to make them and then box them and ship them and.
They have to make them?
Yeah.
Weird.
I know, right? So. And it's like a 3-ish week turnaround on them. So.
We're also gonna do a couple test things before we send them out. So.
Yep. Couple test shipments.
2 to 3 weeks, or 1 to 2 months after pre-order, we'll have those out in the mail to you all.
Yes. So. Thank you, Kyle. You have a good night as well. Drew says you're breaking him. We all saw it.
Just for you guys, though. Somebody's got to do it.
Yes, Drew. I'll give you a text later, and we'll figure this out. As soon as we're done with here, I'm gonna start texting you because I want to figure. This is frustrating because this should work, and this Ruby main board is not such a Ruby, more of a piece of coal. If anybody at Artillery sees this, Big Tree Tech is your friend. Just put Big Tree Tech main boards in your printers, and most of your problems will be over. I doubt anybody from Artillery is going to see this though, but if they do, Big Tree Tech. Okay, we're going to end this. Thank you everyone for hanging out for the 2 hours and 15 minutes that it's been.
Oh, come on, we can all say it by now.
My little spiel.
Yeah.
My gig.
Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe.
Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Ethereal Project 3D. And the community forums at our website, etherealproject3d.com. I fixed the login problem. If you haven't tried since last week, I was doing some work on the website, and somehow it reverted the login settings to some weird administrative. I don't know. I fixed it. It works. So get on the forums and start posting stuff. Post pictures of your printers, your projects, give us video ideas, all that stuff. Let's get
Links, all the links.
Link,
the links
link,
are supposed
link.
to be raining into the comments, could be
Yes.
raining into the
Yes,
forum.
let's get the ball rolling on that. Let's build a community that is our own, you know,
Not connected to Disney.
not connected to Disney, not connected to Disney Book. No. And then if you want to support me in other ways, I'm on Ko-Fi. You could buy me a coffee, link in the video description. Other than that, thanks again for hanging out with us all this time and for all your help in this process. We'll get there, and eventually I'll have it memorized, and we'll do a really good video about it. That's like 15 minutes long. But thanks for watching. Happy 3D printing. Have a good one.